Fran Bradford. One thing about Pitt is our QB is going to run that 2K in drill effectively.
Absolutely.
Got to give Canada more credit because he drew up the plays with Ben and Kenny. What's he talking about, a 2K in drill?
She's probably talking about a 2-minute drill.
2-minute
like
drill.
to end it. Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about that?
Let's do it, man. It was real bent-esque, huh?
Kenny Clutch.
KPA.
Kenny Ice.
Big Ken. What did he have? Gloves like 7, long sleeves like 7, visor like 7, turtleneck like 7, hand warmer like 7. He even gave us the gimpy fake knee injury like 7. You know 7 gonna give you that. 7 gonna stay for the theatrics. He gonna get her with that limp like, Ben, ain't nothing wrong with your knee. Stop it. My man Kenny got up off the QB sneak like, oh, hey, I got this, guys. I'm tough. I got you. Let me throw this dime real quick, and I'm gonna drive off this. Like, oh, it hurts. Yeah. It was vintage 7. I thought I was watching Big Ben. Yep, that's what he gave me right there. All the way down to the theatrical limp. I'm telling you, when I saw that limp, I said, oh, no, you didn't, Kenny. You are too young. You better stop it. Stop it. I loved it, though, bro. Loved it.
I'm going to take all the Big Ben comparisons as a compliment to Kenny.
Oh, 100% compliment. Absolutely, man.
Because I'm not going to front.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way, not even just in that final drive, but throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
How he was able to escape the pocket, make some more time for himself and the receivers, and then hit dudes. Unfortunately, Muth, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He dropped the one right in his face.
He was tripping, right?
But
Kenny low-key was straight, though.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Hey, man, Deontay was cooking low-key.
Legitimately, I think Pickett had probably 5 or 6 plays like that throughout the game where he was able to escape the pocket, create more time, and then hit the open receiver down the field.
Yeah.
Combined with the final drive, 2 minutes, you need a touchdown. It's do or die. And that drive, that completion to Pickens, us winning the game, that was a big deal. That's a huge deal. I don't know if people are celebrating as much as it should be or not. I haven't really been paying attention to what the word is across like Steelers media and stuff right now. But why I think it's a big deal is given all the circumstances surrounding that game. Not even just the game, but Kenny being in Pittsburgh and being the predecessor to 7. So combine that. He's the Pittsburgh kid. We drafted him in the first round. He's supposed to be the next franchise guy, right? That's pressure in and of itself. But a few days after the guy whose jersey we're retiring, Franco Harris, the Steelers legend, just passed away, we honor him at halftime, have the whole jersey retirement. This day is for Franco. The 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. Do or die game in terms of playoffs. The weather is god-awful. It's 0 out there, negative in the wind chills. Yeah. And you got 2 minutes. You weren't able to punch it in for a touchdown at all throughout the whole game. But you make it happen with 2 minutes left. Do or die. What was he? What was he? 100% completion rate? It was like 75 yards. Then hits the dagger to Pickens in the end. Like, that's what you do. That's what we're looking for. That's what you're looking for in a franchise guy. Need to have it. Need to have 7, and you deliver. That's what Pickett did.
Yeah. So for me,
plus all the circumstances, like I mentioned too. Like you couldn't. You had to win that game. Like you literally had to win that game.
Hey,
because
like you have to. Like not even from a playoff. Like you have to
seriously.
For like a emotional, like whatever. Like for the city, bro. You had to win that.
With that type of stuff, it's either you rise to the occasion or don't. And then what is the vibes afterwards?
Yes.
Whether with the fans or the people in the locker, like what are the vibes if you don't get it done?
Absolutely.
When you have 2 minutes, on Franco Day, you need to win this to stay in the play. Like all that stuff.
Yes. That man, Franco, wife and son in that building, man, ain't no way in heck you could lose that game, bro. Can't do it.
He delivered.
I'm with you, bro.
But like confidence for Pickett going forward should hopefully be through the roof. People in the locker room believing in him. I thought it was a big deal, man. Shout out to him for getting it done.
I would agree. So let me tap in real quick on it, man. First off, for the Kenny specific element of it, everything you laid out, absolutely right. I thought for him, man, he just continues to grow in terms of his field maturity, decision making, confidence. Regardless of what was transpiring for 3 quarters from a points scored perspective, when it was a situation where he knew they got to get 7, the confidence was there. You never saw him look like the moment was too big. You never saw him look like he was frantic. He still took chances when he needed to take chances. And I even think of that touchdown drive. I think he missed one throw up there, and it wasn't even like nothing crazy. I forgot who it was on. It
On the
tipped off
final
for somebody.
drive?
Yeah,
Maybe
on
it was
that
like
final.
maybe it was like 6 for 7.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
like
remember.
tipped off for somebody, and I remember saying to myself, like, I love the fact that even with the tip and the dude, because it wasn't even like nothing crazy, but the dude like ran over by it, and I'm just like, I love the fact that he still has the confidence. Next play, he's like, bro, I'm still lighting you up. I'm still gonna tap here. I'm gonna go here, and there's things like that. And even when you're talking about the QB sneak on 4th and 1. Initially, it's like, bro, it don't look like you was about to have it, but you still see him just driving, getting it, whatever it took. And I just thought, man, for him, that was one of those moments where when you talk about signature wins, when you talk about performances where you say, hey, we built from this. This is a moment where I learned. This is a moment where I grew up. This is a moment where I've realized that I can do this at this level. That's going to be one of those games for Kenny that he's going to think back on. Each player individually has games like that. We go back and we say, bro, I remember that. I remember 2010 Cleveland Browns, my first time beating Joe Thomas before he sacked, bro. And I was like, okay, I can play at this level. Looking at Kenny, it's like, bro, he's going to know, bro, you operate like that in that type of moment with those type of conditions. Wow. The guy across from you, Derek Carr, who has the $100 million contract, who has the expectations, who's been a top draft pick and all this other stuff, while he is not doing that on that night, while he is struggling on that night, you're the rookie coming back from a concussion, from a game missed, and that's what you're doing on one of the biggest nights in Pittsburgh history. Nah, man, without a doubt, that was major, and I do feel like that's something that he's going to be able to build upon. And now, like I said, that was just for the Kenny element. Now, the thing that I love about the team part for this is I felt like they're finally learning how to win. How many times we talked about that this season, right? We say this is a young team, and we can just see how in gotta have it moments they keep making that mistake. It's more self-inflicted, and it's like, man,
we've been escaping in some of these games too, where we were up early. It's like close it out now in the second half. We let them back in, and we still got the dub.
We finally had one of those moments where we got a chance to see, can we handle adversity? Early on for defense, the adversity was the opening drive, right? Raiders went down the field score. We're like, oh, man, it's going to be one of them nights. They handled that adversity and then continue that on for the game. Offensively, their adversity was what? 3 quarters where you're not able to score. 3 quarters where you might have some questionable decision-making. 3 quarters where you're questioning, man, should you have attempted a 50-plus yard field goal or not? I get it. But either way, what did they respond with? Boz hits his field goals going forward, and then you got Kenny coming down with this clutch drive offensively, everybody making a play. The jet sweep king, right? Shout out to Matt Canada. Even him in his bag. Let me get a little Connor Hayward one time to end it. You know what I mean? Like all of these different things, but what were we seeing? We were seeing them execute. We were seeing them not have self-inflicted penalties. Even when we had the turnover on offense, what did we come back and do the exact next play? We responded with a turnover, Arthur Milet. And you could just see all the things that held true for us. Could we be more physical in a game? 4 quarters. Think about the last time we lost. What happened? Baltimore Ravens out-physicaled us. Then we went down, handled business with Carolina. People wanted to knock on Carolina. 200 yards rushing before we played them. 300 yards rushing after we played them. So anybody that want to hate on your own time. But once again, we saw
the Lions.
Oh, okay, now. Okay.
Good team. Okay. One of those sneaky teams everyone's talking about.
So like I said, when they want to hate, do it for a narrative, but don't talk that if you're not really watching this stuff, man. But once again, with this, it's like, man, they went back to being the more physical team for 4 quarters. And let's also be real. You did it while having to minimize 2 stars in this league. Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. That's not an easy thing to do. We talked about what both of those dudes were like. And to see that type of execution, that type of detail, that type of focus for 4 quarters as well, man, that's one of those moments where this team, they grow from this. They build upon this. Not saying that, hey, man, they're never going to have another slip up or they're always going to look perfect. But in the grand scheme, that was one of those ones that they had to have to build upon, because you don't look at the Raiders team going into that game and you look at them and say, oh, yeah, man, it's clearly that we're the better team. Nah, remember we talked about, we said, yo, we actually feel we match up well, but they kind of have a little bit more talent than we're accustomed to in our little bit of run since the bye week. And the only other team
with Renfro and Waller coming back,
and the only other team that we felt had the talent advantage on us since the bye was Cincinnati. And we got a chance to see us not just have to be more physical, but minimize 2 monsters in their own right. And our offensive line keep Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. I mean, Cullen Furr, he had his little bit of moments. And that's really what I thought caused the pick on for Kenny. the Colin Farrell pressure. But it's like, man, to see all of those dudes when they had to match it, when they had to win their one-on-ones as well, execute on that type of thing, man, it's just a certain confidence that they're going to have going forward because they were able to do that. I'm
glad you brought up Derek Carr because not only did Kenny outplay him in this game where everything's equal, weather-wise, they both got to deal with these conditions.
That's
but
everybody playing in that same nastiness.
Where I wouldn't say it was equal is going back to the offense talent that each player had at their disposal. I mean, I really like our guys, like in a Muth and George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and Najee Harris. But when you're comparing them to what Derek Carr had, I mean, we're talking about Devontae Adams being a top 5 receiver in the league right now. Darren Waller already making multiple Pro Bowls. Muth isn't there yet. Hunter Renfrow making a Pro Bowl in the slot. Now, I think he's more comparable to Deontay. But that's your number 2 guy.
But realistically, that's their number 3 because they've run their offense, Devontae and Darren Waller.
And then Josh Jacobs leading the league in rushing yards this season. He had all that at his disposal, and you have this dude, Kenny Pickett, a rookie. This is like his 9th or 10th game in. I'll play you in a do-or-die game for both teams.
Both teams have to win. Both teams know you lose this game, man, you know what that means, man. So, absolutely.
Another thing I need to say. I was at the game. I was sitting close. I don't want to hear another word about Kenny Pickett's arm strength.
Oh, yeah.
Those balls were cutting through the wind.
No question, bro. No question.
I just don't want to hear it anymore. It's like a Nerf ball. I was so close you could like hear it whistle. I don't need to hear it anymore. That last pass to Pickens, come on, man.
Oh, bro, that was a dime, bro.
Come on.
Yep.
I just don't want to hear it anymore.
Got the underneath defender on the outside. You got the safety coming over. That's a laser, bro. Absolutely.